A lot of other people have a couple of pedals and go straight into the amp, which is what I used to do. But then the more effects you use on the record, the more I miss them when I play live, you know, so. I'm a gadget freak, so thus we've got this, you know. The way it works is that if you think of like a 100-watt amp, it happens to be a Marshall that was modded for me, but it has a send and return, basically. So if you think of that one, it's going into the middle cabinet here. I have 3 cabinets. And then I have a preamp switcher. There's a Fender here, Bassman, and there's Egnator, a group of 4 preamps. So in fact, I have 5 here, as well as the Marshall. So what happens is the preamp switcher puts them all through the back end of the power section of the Marshall 100-watt, which is quite unique. And then basically all the stereo effects return through all this lot here. And then, so I have mono out of the middle, no effects, except floor, you know, foot pedals, fuzz boxes, whammy, wah, that sort of stuff goes through as you normally would, front end effects, you know, before the amp, and they all come out of there, and then the sends them to all the lot in here, and they go through another clean a boogie power amp. Which puts it either side here, so the stereo effects, my delays and stuff come back nice and clean either side. It's 1973, and I just messed around with it for a while and then started using it live on Do You Feel, just in the end section there. And it was really effective. I mean, it's a very simple gadget.
Do you feel like we do now? Yeah. Have your hands with me.
Pete Drake made his own because he loved Alvino Ray. They were both pedal steel players. It's weird how pedal steel players seem to have come up with it, you know. Pete Drake sort of refined it and showed me on a George Harrison session for All Things Must Pass, is where I first saw one. There he is in a slow moment, and he gets out his little box and his pipe, and he starts singing words through, and the pedal steel starts singing to me, that was like, you know, completely jaw-dropping. So I said, that's the sound, I want that. In fact, he did lend that very talk box to Joe Walsh for Rocky Mountain Way. So that's pre-Bob Heil. So he did use Pete Drake's one, that one I described, on that record. So that's how it all started. I'm working with the engineer, producer that I used to work with years and years ago, Chris Kimsey. Well, he worked with Humble Pie, with Glyn Johns as an assistant, then with Wind of Change, my very first CD, that was his first album as an engineer. So we've known each other for years, and he mixed and recorded a lot of Comes Alive. So we did, I don't think we've done about 8 albums together. So we've got about 20% left to do recording-wise, and then we mix. Yeah, so it's been a lot of fun. A lot of fun working on it.